Welcome back, Cherry Blossom family. It is Friday with Friends. This is our favorite segment of the week. As we said, we use this segment as like the antithesis almost to what most people are using social media for. Usually it's to spotlight, me. But no, we use it to spotlight other people. And we like to take this time and shine the light on other professionals, people who are in either hemp or the nutritional health field. Today we're spotlighting Linda Borghi. She is a biodynamic farmer. And I could tell you about that, but I'm not going to. I'm gonna let her kind of go into that a little bit. She is today, she's been associated with a couple different companies in the past. I know that she has helped me personally on my journey as becoming a better gardener. She's taught me so many things that I was doing absolutely wrong. Did I have a successful gardening year last year? Yeah, sort of. I still have some groundhog issues that we're trying to get past. They like to wait till the fruit is absolutely ripe and perfect, and they just come and just like it's down to the soil almost. It's like, are you kidding me? Are you like, I'm coming to harvest this tomorrow, and then boom, that's the night that they come and ravage the food. So they are cute in a way, but not after that. So so. But I'm going to mention a couple of the things that you were associated with. New Leaf Flavors, as you see behind her, she is growing microgreens. I call her the microgreen queen of the East Coast. We had met her through, she was working with a company, A-Yard, your company, I believe. And I got the line of supplements, including like some nutrients, compost tea, earth tonic, licorice, the resonator. But I'm not going to sit here and take the spotlight. Linda, if you don't mind, welcome, by the way. Tell us about yourself, about your background, and kind of what you do now and your journey to get you here. Like what brought you to farming?
Hey, honey, it's so good to see that face, first of all.
Thank you.
Baby,
about 3 people on earth tell me that. That's about it. Most of them have mom at the end, like mom or grandmom. That's it.
I think your granddaughter probably feels the same way.
She loves me. She doesn't know me well enough yet. See, so I got her pulled.
That little beauty mom. Well, I am the oldest of 8 in a family of famous fine art dealers.
Okay.
Sotheby's and Christie's would know my surname very well. I am the only farmer, and no one in my family taught me anything about an eggplant or a tomato.
Wow. So all this is self-taught.
Yeah, and it was something that was really inside of me for a very long time. It started when I was 7 years old and living, there were 6 of us at the time. We were living outside of Venice, outside of Rome, in Lido, and my father had to go up north to a framer. My father was in the art business, and he dropped me and my brother Mark, the 2 oldest ones, off at his mom's house in the countryside of Venice. And she did not speak a word of English, and we didn't speak a word of Italian. So I don't know what the fuck he was thinking about. Excuse my language. What are you thinking about, for God's sake? So, but for whatever reason, I understood every word that woman spoke. And the first thing she said, "Are you hungry?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Well, go outside and catch a chicken." Outside meant, these houses were small, and there was a tiny scoop area. So I went out there. Now I was 7. Now felt like 3 hours. It was probably 15 minutes running after the chickens. But it felt like 3 hours. My brother going, "What are we doing here?"
Oh my goodness.
And so my little grandmother came out of the door, and I could tell she was a little aggravated because no chicken. That woman did not even look down. She just put her arm down, had a chicken in her arm. She picked that chicken up. She twisted it. Now she was a goddess to me. I was like,
wow.
I followed her into the kitchen. We did all that. I sat down to a bowl of chicken soup like I've never had before. And in my mind, I said, I'm going to be just like you, Nona, when I grow up. And that was the first time I really met her. So that's when I became a farmer. But, it took me a little while. I was a controller of a public utility. I had to manage 26 Costco wholesale locations in 6 states for their cut flower business. I mean, I had all these diversions, And
I
then,
know. I know.
and then my baby birds were all grown up, my son and my daughter. And I told both of them that I was going to be a farmer. And they both said, yeah, well, you've been talking about it long enough. Well, after I got over that, that I had no, there weren't even any shells left in my nest. I know, Mom. Go. That's when I went to New York State and started farming Abundant Life Farm using a method called small plot intensive spin farming. Now, because I came from, let's say, a very statistical background, being a controller of Block Island Power, very, and even just managing all those Costco wholesale locations, you have to be very, very organized. Well, spin farming is a method of farming that is a business model that's very organized, and it gave you very specifics, bullet points on how to generate $100,000 on a half an acre of land in a 22-week season. Put that in your pipe and smoke.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
So this was a man, Wally, from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada. Look, up there you blink and your season is over.
Right. I can imagine. Yeah. You really got to be organized.
Yeah, he had a 20-acre plot out in the country, and he had a half-acre plot in the city. And after a while, he realized that half-acre plot, that the area he was growing in the city was more profitable than the big 20-acre gaboozer that he had out in the country. So that he started to build up his farm within the city of 1,000 square foot here, 2,000 square foot there, until he got up to a half an acre. And this was in 2004. And he was generating $50,000 on that half acre of land in the city. So then a woman outside of Philadelphia picked up on this on the internet. And in 2006, she got land from the water company because she wanted to bring farming into the poor section of Philly. So on water company, their goal was in 5 years to generate $50,000, right? Year one was $36,000. Year two was $53,000. Year three was $64,000 gross on a half acre land. That it caught the attention of the Department of Agriculture for the state of Pennsylvania. And they did a study, and the study came back with, if this was kicked up to an acre, it would have been $130,000 on an acre. So there you go.
Wow.
So that's a system
in the city.
That's
amazing. Wow.
Well, you got to go where the eaters are.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
You want to be around a city that has pretty much a minimum of 200,000 residents. That's a fair amount of eaters. That. And then, I taught this up. That's what I taught up and down the East Coast for 5 years. How to grow food and earn money. Because $100,000 on a half an acre of land, and you don't have to own the land. Well, let's say you have 1,000 square feet and you don't want to farm it, but you want some fresh vegetables. You'll let Harry down the street farm it.
Right.
And Harry will give you some fresh vegetables or pay you so much for that land. Or like down here in Orlando, the homeowners have to pay the farmer on their front yard, their backyard. Fleet farming, FLEET. You could look it up. Yeah.
Okay.
So there's so many different ways, but this is our situation. It is a pandemic. The pandemic is, we didn't teach anybody how to grow their own food.
No doubt.
So how are they supposed to know how to grow their own food?
I don't know if that's really the intention. I think the intention is so people don't know how to feed themselves.
Well, that's where the focus is. There's a large company called Monsanto, and in 1977, they hired the firm of Arthur Andersen. That's a big firm in Manhattan, right? And they hired them to, here's our mission statement. give us the steps we have to take in order to manifest our mission statement. And that's exactly what Arthur Anderson gets paid to do. And they get paid very well. And what is their mission statement? To be the sole global food supplier.
It's scary when you say it that way.
That's what I was written. I mean,
That is. It's frightening.
I was this stuff up.
It's like 1984 images were popping up in my head. Like, oh my God, no.
Food supplier. And let me tell you something. They've done a pretty darn good job.
So it's funny because like we have a lot of conversations in this world today about like freedom and, I should be able to do what I want. And the total opposite of that would be someone telling you what food is available to you. Like the one pleasure, I think most of it, I'm a chef by trade. There is some, and I understand that moment that you had with that lady. You're telling me this, and I'm like, yeah, anybody who really, really loves food and love, and put their life to it to some degree, has had that moment on some level, like, oh my God, like this is what I want to do with my life. And I don't know, it's just kind of funny how like we all eat, we all need to eat, and yet we don't really take food and what we're necessarily putting in our body, myself included. Sometimes I put some garbage in here. Sometimes, we just don't take it seriously. And I think one of the things that you said on your page is that you're growing healthy people and through utilizing proven agricultural practices. And I think a lot of it, I'm gonna tell it what things you said to me, like you always say, it's all about the soil. It's all about the soil. I don't know how many times you said that to me. It's all about the soil. So you are what do you call a biodynamic farmer, and you kind of told us just a little bit of just about some other methods, but tell us specifically about what that means to you and make that make sense to people who may not know what that means.
Well, what it means to me is that biodynamics is the only farming method that brings in the spiritual energy aspect of what we're living in, on this planet. We're really not aware of spiritual energies or subtle energies, cosmic energies, whatever you want to call the stuff that comes from over your head down.
Right.
We've kind of like touched briefly on the moon. We plant. There's some calendars based on planting by the moon, but I have to tell you, there's a lot of other big bodies up there. Look at the rings on Saturn. I mean, so all of these bodies, all those astral, those are all energies. And that is where biodynamics comes in and makes sense of those subtle energies so that you could work with those energies. And you can't work with those energies if you don't know about them. It's just like, everything else. So that's what biodynamics is. For me, it's a very high level earth honoring model, very high level earth honoring model. And it's not connected to any religion. I mean, it was brought to you by a seer, an early 19th century seer, just like Edgar Cayce was a seer. Edgar Cayce was, people that could see through the veil, that had
okay, yeah.
And that would be Steiner as well. He was the same situation, bringing information on side of the veil back. And they were. It's interesting. They were both on the same, pretty much the same. They were born at the same time, and they only Cayce was in Virginia Beach, Virginia, and Steiner studied under Goethe, and that was over on the other side of the pond.
Okay.
So to speak. So what I have found out through the use of biodynamics, and this is the reason I went into biodynamics, was that the food. Now look, you could think, whoever's listening to this can think this is very woo-woo, but I'm 66 and I really don't care what you think.
I kind of agree with that wholeheartedly, honestly.
The life force in the food was way over the lifetime. Now, what do I mean by life force? Well, an organic farmer told me, oh, you got to go up to this biodynamic farm. It wasn't too far. To go there on a Friday. They have open house, blah, 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 blah. So I did. The very next Friday, I went up there and I went and they have like a little luncheonette, a little luncheon. So you get online and I got soup. I never saw a shallower bowl in my life. Seriously. And a salad, so few pieces of lettuce. I thought maybe they were hungry or something, or they ran out. And a roll. And I sat there, this was 1 o'clock on a Friday. And I was in my early 30s. I was a young mom running around all over this, right? So I had that food, blah, blah, blah. It was really nice. Now, the next time I got hungry was Saturday at 3 o'clock.
What day was this now?
Friday at 1 till Saturday.
Oh, wow.
I started to say, I had a busy schedule, but I got hungry around. They said, what did I eat? What did I? I said, what's in that food? What's in that food? There was something in that food. And
there's nutrients in there, things that we don't necessarily get all the time in mass-produced food.
That energy.
Okay.
That was captured because of the knowledge of the farmer planting certain things at certain days. A leaf day. A leaf day would be when it's in the signs, when we're going through the water signs. That would be a leaf. Cancer, Scorpio. But there's a calendar. I don't have to, all I have to do is go to my calendar and say, what day is today? There's 4 categories based on what we're consuming: leaf, fruit, root, and flower.
Okay.
It's really, but you don't have to dive deep into biodynamics in order to benefit the earth, because it's all your intention. Look, the agriculture course, that's a course that Dr. Steiner gave us. I read that like 3 or 4 times. I gotta tell you, baby, I don't understand any of it. Sometimes under my pillow, thinking that it'll transfer.
It doesn't work that way, huh?
But I know that because my intentions are pure, and I'm really honoring the earth beneath my feet, that I can't make any mistakes, that I'm guided in the right direction. And my passion, and this is a burning passion, to help others do the same.
Well, that's good, because you were telling me you're teaching others how to grow and garden, myself included, as I said earlier. What advice would you give to someone who's like considering, maybe they're on the fence, I've been thinking about doing this for a couple of years or whatever. What would you tell them? How would you encourage them to get out there and get farming, get gardening, I should say?
What do you like? Pick one plant that you like, just one. So let's say your most favorite plant from outside is a tomato. Dig up a section 3 feet by 3 feet. And now you have your farm. There it is, 3 feet.
That's it.
Plant your tomato, love your tomato, take care of your tomato. And like you, the next year, it's not going to be.
Watch out for groundhogs. You'd be ready for that tomato sandwich, and the groundhogs got it first.
That's your karma, not everyone's.
Yeah, I know. And it's funny because everybody, that's my issue here. And everybody's dealing with something different everywhere. You know what I mean? You were talking about your sandy soil, and it could be anything. Some people's yards get too wet. Some people don't get enough irrigation. So everybody's dealing with something, some challenge or another. And I was telling my wife, I was like, I don't know, that yard kind of broke me last year. Like I was doing so good, and then it's like, we're back. But no, we were already planning again, for this season. It's just how the way it is. It's a labor of love, and you just want. There is an exchange, and I see it from. I actually cook my food, so as I would hope most people do, but there's an exchange, like you see it like from. I'm putting love into this seed and this soil, and then this plant comes out, and I'm taking care of it like a child, through its life, and I watch it from its infancy and these stages that it grows up, and now it's starting to give back to me by producing fruit. I mean, it's a very, really amazing sort of exchange that happens, and it really makes you appreciate your food a lot more.
Fruit and seed.
Yeah. You know, we talked about a couple things here. We'll mention a few things. You mentioned on one of your websites and things that you're suggesting to people: dig up your soil, heal your soil, use activated water, feed humus, feed humus-rich soil, grow your own food, replace fast food with slow food. I think everyone knows what that means. Buy local food. Learn how to grow food for market, and you kind of talked about that a little bit just now. Ask where your food comes from, and I think that's very important because the more people do that, it's almost like the power of your money. You know, your money tells the places that you patronize what to have available for their customers. And if you're asking where your food is coming from, it's going to force them to bring that to the table. Now, look, if they're asking where are these tomatoes coming from, and if where they're coming from, the customers aren't getting the answers they like, and they're like, well, shoot, and they're going to stop buying them, and then the establishment's going to stop buying them. They're going to start bringing in what you want. So there is very much power to that statement. You know, where is this coming from?
Also, I believe if people ask that, they're going to be shocked.
Probably, yeah.
I think they're going to be shocked because we get so many vegetables from South America. That's very far away, folks. We're talking about a planet that has a problem with its climate. We don't have to be flying in peppers.
No.
It's not necessary to do that. We just have to become self-sufficient. Neighborhoods can become self-sufficient. We did it already. We call them victory. Yeah. We did this already. This is like a
wow. You really brought some history back today. That is true. The victory garden. Yes.
There were sheep grazing on the White House lawn. Why? Because they needed the poop.
So I'm going to read something. We're going to wrap up soon, but I'm going to read something that you had on one of your sites.
Okay.
And I think people would be shocked to hear this, honestly. There is 40.5 million acres of lawn in the United States, and kids are going hungry. 40.5 million acres, and they say we're having a food production problem because we use 40% of our potable water on the East Coast just to water lawns. Grass is the largest cultivated crop in the country, taking up more acreage than corn or soy. And last I checked, humans can't eat grass.
Correct.
Very powerful statement.
Well,
it's very telling of where our priorities are.
Yeah, but those are changing now. And we just have to, I do see light at the end of the tunnel, and I don't believe it's the oncoming train any longer.
Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about. People, we are, with our perspectives as Americans are changing. I think that we're seeing that, this fast and processed food revolution that we had over the last, quarter, half a century at least, maybe 3/4 of a century, has not really benefited us in the way that we want. We are out of touch with our food. We are out of touch with most of us are out of touch with how to grow food and sustain ourselves. If something were to happen tomorrow, we'd lose a lot of people. No doubt, no doubt.
Well, if anyone out there has a group or an association or wants to gather people in their living room, I'm all you have to do is go onto my website, Farm-A-Yard, and book a phone call with me, and we could talk about those possibilities. And we could do that right from where you are and right from where I am. Love through it. A webinar. I've done this for universities like Fayetteville State University. I've given presentation at the World Economic Forum and the National Institute of Health. So it could be right in your living room, and we could discuss, how to get this information moving, like very, very, very potent seeds, and we could spread it all over. That's what we need to do. That's my opinion. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay. Well, this is it. This is your shameless plug. This is the shameless plug section of the program here. That's it. You promote yourself. You did just mention your site. If you want to tell anybody to reach out on any of your social media sites, is there any specials that you're promoting right now, or promos of any of your products? This is it.
There is specials right now. I've just recently moved to Port Charlotte, Florida, and we opened New Leaf Flavors microgreens, and we have free sample Sunday. So if you live in the area of Port Charlotte or Punta Gorda, you know, Northport and Englewood, you know, come by the farm on Sundays between
I
2
love
and
it.
4. And I'll give you a little tour of the facility and we could chat. And really, honestly, I want you to know that this is my sinister plan on how to make new friends. So as long as you have that knowledge before you come for your samples, you'll know the underlying causes, you know. But just go on to New Leaf Flavors and get all the information. You know, the address is there. And if you don't live in the area, please find out where or who is growing microgreens and consume them on a very high level. They're very nutrient dense, very important. I'm going to give you one analogy. 1 ounce of broccoli microgreens.
Uh-oh. She's got visual aids. She's coming back. There it is. Oh, it's so beautiful. I love it.
Is equal to eating 1.5 pounds of broccoli.
Say that one more time. 1 ounce.
1 ounce.
Wow.
Broccoli microgreens is equal to eating 1.5 pounds of broccoli. This is 6 pounds of broccoli. This is 4 ounces.
And no human being wants to eat 1.5 pounds of broccoli.
We need food that supports our immune system. That way we don't get all that crap that's coming down the pipe.
That's what I'm talking about.
Know.
Well said. Linda, you're the best. We love you. Thank you so much for hanging out with us this morning. Best of luck and many blessings to you and New Leaf Flavors and your newest venture. I know you're going to do great. I know you're going to be appreciated where you are. We're still appreciating you here. And I'm going to show my homage to you this summer with some pictures of our garden. So